Lawyers for Roman Polanski filed a motion in Switzerland today to get him released from jail. The victim of the director of such classic films as The Pianist and Chinatown isn't talking right now, but several years ago she spoke to Early Show national correspondent Hattie Kauffman. She joins us now from Los Angeles. Hattie, good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Polanski's victim, Samantha Geimer, says she has forgiven him. I spoke with her in 2003 when Polanski was nominated for an Oscar for his film The Pianist. At that time, she was adamant that it is never too late for justice to be served. Samantha Geimer was a 13-year-old who wanted to be a movie star. Roman Polanski was one of Hollywood's hottest directors when they met in 1977 for a photo shoot.
He took topless pictures of me, which I think in the back of my head I was thinking they'll be cropped or it's in European magazine, and we all know they show breasts in European magazines.
Samantha did not tell her mother about the topless pictures. Polanski, basking in the success of his latest film Chinatown, starring Jack Nicholson, arranged a second photo shoot, this time at Nicholson's house. Now, how did it go from the photo shoot to a rape?
The last photos were taken in the jacuzzi, but then he got in the jacuzzi. And then that's when I started realizing that I might be in trouble, or I felt uncomfortable. I knew it didn't feel right. So I told him that I wanted to get out of the jacuzzi, that the steam was giving me, I had asthma and I couldn't breathe, and I thought that maybe he should take me home. I just made that up. So he said, okay, come out now, and gave me grabbed a towel, went in the house. And that's also when he said, well, here, take this will help you, a little piece of a pill to relax my asthma attack.
What was the pill?
It was a piece of a Quaalude.
So then you have sex against your will. This is not consensual.
This is not consensual. I was, no.
But this time Samantha did tell her mom, who called the police. Polanski was charged with 6 felony counts. In an interview with 60 Minutes, he claimed the sex was consensual.
She wasn't unschooled in sexual matters. She was consenting and willing.
Facing decades behind bars, Polanski fled to Europe, where he's been a fugitive until his arrest this weekend. Is it too late now for justice to be served?
Well, it's never too late. I mean, it's never too late to go back and fix something that wasn't done right. It's been too long, but it'll never be too late.
Now, in the years since that rape, Geimer has settled with a civil suit with Polanski. Earlier this year, she asked L.A. prosecutors to drop charges against him. She says she just wants to move on and get on with her life, and she does not want any media attention. Harry?
Hattie Kauffman in Los Angeles this morning. Thank you. Joining us now from Berkshire, England, is novelist Robert Harris, a friend of Roman Polanski, who has been working with him on a film adaptation of his book, The Ghost. Mr. Harris, good morning.
Good morning.
Did Roman Polanski live in fear?
No, certainly not that I've seen. I've been working with him pretty continuously for 3 years, and he traveled very freely back and forth between France and Switzerland. He has a house in Switzerland, which is why it seemed so astonishing when he was actually picked up at the airport on Saturday night, because he could have been picked up at any time if they'd wanted to do so.
So he was not cautious about his movements?
No, not at all. I've known him go off in the last year or two all over the world, to China, to Egypt, to Greece. The Ghost finished shooting in Germany this year. He spent 3 months in Germany.
What was his attitude toward all of this, toward this case, that this incident that happened some 30 years ago?
Well, he has young children of his own now to whom he's devoted. I think he's embarrassed about it for them. I would imagine that he is. When this HBO documentary, Roman Polanski Wanted and Desired, came out last year, I think he thought it was a turning point for him, because that film, whilst not glossing over the seriousness of what happened, nevertheless did show the things that had gone on behind the scenes with the judge changing his mind on the plea bargain, which was the reason why he fled to Europe. I think he thought at that point he was in a position to get the whole thing thrown out. It may be that he then became too overconfident, too aggressive in his legal action in Los Angeles. Their patience finally snapped, and really a half-hearted pursuit over the past 30 years became suddenly much more intense.
So this HBO documentary, which he helped, he collaborated with, may in fact have...
Well, no, he didn't actually.
But may in fact have, or at least was produced with his consent, shall we say?
Well, yes, he.
But it may have in fact.
He wouldn't be interviewed for it.
Right, but may have in fact had an opposite effect and blown up in his face.
Well, I think that's the irony here, yes. I think that just as it looked as though he was winning a kind of battle on this issue, he sowed the seeds of his own defeat. And I think that the Los Angeles prosecutors have been stung into action by that movie. I can't see otherwise why the Swiss should suddenly have arrested him after all this time. They are now cooperating much more fully with America and other countries after the credit crash. And it may be that they're just trying to show that they're keen boys.
Robert Harris, thank you very much for your time this morning. We do appreciate it and your insight.